name is Saswat. Currently, I am studying in class 9 at DAVSCB Medical Public School. So today I will be saying about a very interesting man whose name is Nelson Mandela. So let's read about him. Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa, is one of the greatest leaders and politicians who has graced the civilization with many noble contributions. Early life and education. Nelson Mandela was born as Roli Halal Mandela on 18th July 918 in a small village of Mevejo in Transkei, South Africa. His father, Gadla Henry Mafconcio, served as a local chief and counselor to the monarch. Mandela grew up in the village of Kunnu, where he spent his early years herding the cattle and playing with other boys of the village. Though both his parents were illiterate, they realized the importance of education and sent him to the Methodist school when he was 7. He was the first in his family to attend school. Mandela completed his BA at the University. Mandela completed his BA at the University of South Africa via correspondence, after which he studied law at the University of Witwatersrand. At college, he came into contact with modern principles such as freedom, liberty, democracy, equality, political rights, etc. He was deeply distressed to see the suffering of fellow Africans who were no better than slaves under the British rule. Mandela participated in the movement against racial discrimination. Nelson Mandela's political journey. Nelson Mandela's political journey began with the African National Congress in 1944. Mandela developed ANC's defense campaign. In 1961, he led ANC's armed wing. ANC challenged the racist political system of apartheid, in which black Africans were legally discriminated against in all walks of life. ANC under Nelson Mandela's leadership organized labor strike and national-wide protest and demonstration against the apartheid during 1940s, 1950s and 1960s. Their efforts were met with the cruel resistance, torture and bloodshedding of the African people. Nelson Mandela and other key leaders of ANC were arrested and charged with treason. In 1964, Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment, and he was imprisoned for 27 years and stayed various prisons like Robben Island. Portsmouth Prison and Victor Wester Prison. He spent the first 18 years of his life at the worst place in South Africa. The prisoners were treated inhumanely. The prisoners belonging to the South African National Congress were classified as D category, meaning most dangerous, and the harsh life rights. Being the leader of ANC, Nelson Mandela received more harsh treatment than the others. He was not allowed to meet anyone, and his wife was allowed to meet him once in 6 months. While in prison, Mandela rejected several offers of conditional release, which would have imposed limitation on the political activities. South Africa by the time was being increasingly isolated as a racist state. Civil unrest had spread, and international boycotts and diplomatic pressures were mounting on South Africa. There was a worldwide campaign to release Mandela in 1990. He was released unconditionally. First black president of South Africa in 1994. In the first election that followed in 1994, ANC under Nelson Mandela won the election, and he was chosen to lead the country as its the first black president. Nelson Mandela's greatest achievement was not so much in becoming South Africa's first black president, but in putting an end to the evil of apartheid, which divided the blacks and the whites of South Africa. As a president, Mandela worked very hard to smoothen the transition of majority black rule to a major black rule. He ended apartheid and established the new constitution. He also introduced new reforms in economic policy of South Africa. Mandela's international contribution as a mediator for Libya and United Kingdoms, for overseeing the military intervention and human rights activities are also appreciated. retired from active politics. In 1999, Mandela retired from active politics, but he continued to remain active on social front by raising money and building schools and healthcare centers in the country. Mandela was diagnosed with prostate cancer and was being treated for same in 2001. Weakened by cancer and other health issues, he died on 5th December 2013 due to recurring lung infection. His awards and honors. Mandela was proud recipient of the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993, which is dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi, by whom he was greatly influenced. Apart from this, he received more than 250 awards, including honorary degrees from more than 50 universities worldwide, to pay tribute and homage to the South African leader for contributions to democracy, freedom, equality, peace, and human rights around the world. The United Nations declared 18th July to be observed as Nelson Mandela Day every year. Mandela, a charismatic personality. Mandela has inspired the masses not only through his work but also by his words. His autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, provides knowledge and experience capable of shaping thoughts. He has written his concern about equality for his Black in his book. Mandela aspired to spread peace, equality, and learning, and never gave up his devotion in doing so. Despite terrible provocation, Mandela never gave up hope and stayed firm in his principles. His writing and speeches are collected in "I Am Prepared to Die." I'm sorry. I am prepared to die. No easy work to freedom. The struggle in my life, and in his own words. He ushered in the history of South Africa an era of social harmony, national unity, democratic governance, and building the national fabric from the scars of the former regime. His simple principle of political agitation, almost on the lines of Mahatma Gandhi, healing the wounds of hate, bringing national unification, becoming the symbol of oppressed people all over the world, as some of his noble legacies to the world. He advocated and employed methods to kill racism, allow full citizenship to people, redistribute land, bestow trade union rights, and provide free and compulsory education for children. Nelson Mandela's contribution for liberation of Africa, continuous struggle for social justice, and struggle to change socio-economic system is honored by one and all. In remembrance of this noble contributor, the entire civilization honors the principle for which he stood, for equality, justice, peace for all. In South Africa, Nelson Mandela is widely considered both as the father of the nation and founding father of democracy. That's it for today. Thank you and have a nice day.